Hello, and thank you for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you, though I wish we could be in person like we have in years past. Tonight, the People First Economy team will be sharing with you an overview of the work that we have done alongside you over the course of this past year. And yes, that means we're going to be talking about 2020. The last 12 months have brought devastating losses and extreme challenges. We have a deeper understanding of the systems that perpetuate disproportionate outcomes in the health and economic stability of our Black and brown neighbors. And we have seen our communities step up to support one another in moments of need. In the face of it all, our organization works to create an economy that puts people first. Please enjoy this video detailing some of the work we have accomplished together in this last year.
2020 started off like any other year. New businesses were opening, new jobs were created, and the economy was growing. As it progressed, 2020 would test all of us in different ways, especially our small businesses and the millions of people they employ. This meant hardship for the business owners who work hard to create an economy that puts people first, and it meant that our work was never more needed. Our primary goal at the onset of the pandemic was to help our constituents access resources and understand the rapidly changing legislation. Our team of 6 people made 170 phone calls to our businesses from March to April to assess and understand their immediate needs. These phone calls continued into the fall and the winter. Our email outreach efforts went to more than 600 local business leaders, 1,500 sustainable business advocates, and 5,600 consumers to inform them of relief programs and new and existing promotional platforms. We urged our area residents and neighbors to stay safe and support our business community in any way that they could. We sat in on dozens of conversations and advisory committees at the state, county, and city level to represent the voice of our businesses. These conversations resulted in programs like the Michigan Restaurant Promise and COVID West Michigan website. We spoke to legislators and policymakers advocating for additional state and federal relief funding for small businesses, and we will continue to do so into 2021. In May, the Good for Michigan program celebrated business as a force for good during our week-long virtual Good for Michigan Awards. 8 businesses in our program were selected for their intentional business practices, and we shared their accomplishments with thousands of people across the state. The Local First program hosted virtual coffee hours, engaging more than a dozen businesses as hosts and 172 guests. Together, Local First and Good for Michigan participated in over 20 presentations and webinars, reaching new and existing audiences of more than 1,250 people in and beyond West Michigan. When civil unrest arose in our country, state, and cities after generations of injustice for the Black community, People First Economy hosted an important discussion led by board members and organization leadership about the impact of systemic racism on economic opportunity. We are energized by the voices leading the anti-racism movement and are ready to continue the work towards equitable growth. Starting in November, we launched a 9-week holiday campaign which highlighted 322 Local First members. In October, we had a 4-week-long virtual Fork Fest, highlighting 106 food businesses and a dozen sponsors. 14 Instagram takeovers created an opportunity for Local First members to share their story directly with our audience, resulting in record numbers of engagement. Last year, we saw even more mission-driven companies start their journey towards a regenerative economy. 59 additional businesses, including 4 new B Corps, became Good for Michigan by committing to improve their social and environmental impacts. There are now 158 businesses in 33 cities across the state, 24 of which are certified B Corps. While 2020 was a year of tremendous loss, it was also a year of proven resiliency. We are and continue to be inspired by you. You challenged us, you asked us the hard questions, you pushed us for transparency and accountability, and we thank you. A People First economy is for all of us. Let's keep growing it together.
From supporting businesses and consumers who spend, stay, and hire locally, to deepening the commitment to take care of Michigan's workforce, all while tracking meaningful data to build a resilient economy. Our team feels that the business leaders in our state, representing all sizes and sectors of businesses, don't worry folks, we're live, so if you hear a little bit of traffic in the background, don't mind it. We believe that the business leaders in our state have tremendous power to impact our communities for the better. Operating with intentional anti-racism and cultural humility, taking care of our planet and workforce, and keeping our dollars circulating locally is the best way to weave a strong fabric that can catch us when we stumble. The People First Economy team wants you to know us. I'm going to let our program and marketing directors fill you in on a little more detail about the impact that we've had over the course of the last year, but first, it is my distinct privilege to treat you to an overview of our financials. Super fun. A peek behind the curtain. It's important to all of us and to me, as your new organization president, that the business leaders and community members that engage with us understand how our resources are utilized, because some of those resources come directly from you. In the slide you see here, you'll see some of the revenue streams that our organization utilizes and some of our expenses. So on the left-hand side, we see grants and contracts, membership dues, events, and sponsorships and donations. These grants and contracts come primarily from cities and municipalities that work with us to gather data from the business communities to make sure they're hitting their strategic goals around local supply chain and equity initiatives. We also work with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation to track that meaningful data and help train businesses to use their business as a force for good across the state of Michigan. Membership dues is from the Local First program, our businesses that pay annual fees to be members of our organizational program. Events, of course, in 2020, events look quite a bit different than they have in the past. And so we didn't see as much event revenue, but we were able to make up for that in sponsorships and donations from our business community and the community at large to make sure that we were able to pay our employees to bring the most robust programming to our community. We also received a payroll protection loan in April of 2020 that helped us kind of extend our cash flow through the end of the year and remain stable as an organization. On the right side of the screen, you'll see our expenses. Our biggest expense is our payroll. We'll go into a little more detail about that in a moment. We also have our rent and utilities and our program expenses. Those program expenses can be anything from working with our accountants to make sure that we're taking care of all of our financial needs, to building out a brand new website and local business directory and other resources that are helping us take advantage of our digital presence to serve the business community both in West Michigan and across the state of Michigan. We talk a lot about taking care of the workforce. It's very important for us as an organization to walk the walk and talk the talk. So our salaries and benefits packages are very competitive here at People First Economy. The president's salary in 2020 was $72,000, and our average full-time salaried employees make 60% of the president's salary. Part-time hourly wages start at $18 an hour. All of our salaried team members have full benefits packages, at least 2 weeks of paid vacation, and that time accrues the longer our businesses work, as longer our employees work with the organization. To give you a little bit of an idea, the average tenure of an employee with People First Economy is over 4 years, where the typical average tenure of a nonprofit staffer is closer to 18 months. So we like to keep our talented folks with us so that we can continue to build knowledge and serve you as a community more effectively. We also make sure that we're taking care of the health, both mental and physical health of our team, and that's very important to us as well. We did quite a bit of tightening of the belts, as everyone did in 2020. So I, as your president, took a pay cut of 10% over the course of the year to help with cash flow. We also downsized our office space to make sure that we were really shuffling our resources into the business community we were serving and not spending unnecessary dollars on space or overhead expenses. Of course, we cut travel because pandemic, and so those expenses were also mitigated, as well as other non-essential expenses. Some of our particularly exciting initiatives over the course of last year have been showing up and being advocates for our small business community across the state of Michigan. We have served on and continue to serve on 4 ongoing regional and statewide revitalization committees working to help make decisions and create initiatives that will support the business community across our state as we come out of and recover from this pandemic. I was present on over 15 press conferences that were broadcast across the state and to national networks, again, advocating for additional federal relief dollars for our small business community in Michigan, and also advocating to the decision makers directly that we take the small business voice into account as we're making decisions moving forward. Those press conferences are ongoing as well, so we'll see more of those in 2021. We also sat on 4 separate review committees for the grant dollars that were allocated to small businesses across the state of Michigan, totaling over $15 million worth of resources shuffled into our small business community across the state of Michigan in 2020. Now I'm going to kick it over to our program director, Kathleen Rourke, who's going to talk a little bit more about the work that we've done within the Local First program in 2020 and talk to you a little bit about the future of our program as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hannah. Hi all, my name is Kathleen Rourke and I direct the Local First membership program. We miss seeing you all in person to celebrate one year closing and another year beginning, especially when we're turning the page on a year like 2020. But we're grateful to have journeyed alongside you and for your investment in us. You certainly don't need us to tell you that it has been a year of transition and learning. Our team at Local First could not have rode the waves without your input, your shared experiences, and your engagement. We learned through all of it that people and your local businesses are the backbone of our economy and that we're really better together. It's been such a privilege to work with Local First for the last 3 years, but I'm especially proud of how we've walked through the last year together. Our team listened, learned, and held space for our member businesses throughout 2020. We know that jobs were lost, tough decisions were made, technology changed, some businesses thrived, and some did not make it through the year. When the pandemic hit in full force, our team took to outreach calls. We connected with more than 170 businesses to better understand the immediate needs of our members. In the fall and winter, we reconnected with 300 more when the second wave hit. Our Local First membership is made up of hundreds of businesses in West Michigan. Roughly 1/3 of these members have 1 to 3 employees and serve our community as restaurants and retailers, some of the industries which have sacrificed the most to keep our communities safe. It's no secret as well that locally owned businesses have seen financial hardship. In response, our organization launched a Pay What You Can scholarship to help keep our programming accessible. We believe in the value of human scale economies. Connecting with you helped to direct our team's steps and to help us better understand the small business pandemic experience. Our hope is that through all of it, you felt seen and cared for by our team as well. 2020 was also about claiming your space in the digital realm. In the beginning of the year, we hosted our first coffee hour in person alongside the partnership of Bloom Credit Union and swiftly transitioned these into the Zoom gathering space where we discussed with members not only their pandemic effects, but also their current offerings, ideas, collaborations, and innovations. We certainly laughed and chatted, and we definitely drank a lot of coffee. This year, we also hosted quarterly webinar content. We wanted to bring technical support and resources to our members. We hosted a number of conversations. The first was all about marketing underneath the pandemic. In the second, we talked about safety protocols for small businesses, as well as better understanding racial equity in our business sector. And lastly, we walked through the new localfirst.com with all of you. We also hosted a number of support local campaigns throughout the year. The first offering that we provided were our Instagram takeovers. 14 member businesses used this opportunity to amplify their voice, and they're coming back in 2021. Stay tuned every Tuesday to hear from our Local First members. The week leading up to Independence Day, Local First celebrated local independently owned businesses. We highlighted 29 business members throughout this week-long campaign. And all October long, Local First championed eating local, thanks to our partners at Romance Gardens, Brew Vivant, Consumers Credit Union, Warehouse 6, and the Image Shop. This Eat Local campaign highlighted 106 local restaurants, farms, and food producers throughout our blogs, emails, and social media channels. Starting in November, we hosted a 9-week campaign focused on shifting spending to locally owned businesses during the holidays between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Thanks to our partners at Lake Michigan Credit Union, United Bank, Consumers Credit Union, and Gazelle Sports, we were able to highlight 322 businesses. As well as you already know, we launched the new localfirst.com, complete with a member hub where members could update their listings in real time and provide events that populated a community events calendar. Member business engagement helped to direct our steps this year and also provided our team with a vision for how we could amplify your business voices throughout 2021. Already this year, we've hosted 2 virtual coffee hour events. Members can tune in every second Friday of the month at 9:30 a.m. to join these conversations. We're also launching what we're calling the Rebuilding Our Local Economy webinar series. In this series, we're going to continue to bring resources and technical support to our business owners. As you can see, our first conversation centered around auditing and amplifying your digital presence. We look forward to continue providing member businesses with more resources and technical support throughout these webinar series, as well as using our platforms to amplify the local business voice and encourage the community to shift their spending. 2021 will again be a year where we will be listening and learning and adjusting with all of you as we work to revitalize our local economy. Thank you, business members, for your engagement, West Michigan community for supporting our member businesses. 2020 has shown us unequivocally that when local businesses thrive, people thrive. Like I said, friends, we're better together. Our local economy is made more resilient when we're standing together and putting people first. I'm going to kick it over to a few member businesses to hear more about their experience, and then we'll hear from Good for Michigan's Program Director, Alice Jasper.
Hey, Local First community, this is Tom with Gordon Water Systems. Great to be part of the annual meeting. We have been members of Local First really since close to its inception, and super proud to be part of this community. It's helped us be a better business. We've learned tons of great things and met some great people and grown our business along the way. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tara Davis of Daddy Pete's Barbecue, co-founder along with my husband, Corey Davis. We've been connected with Local First for quite some time. We've participated in a number of activities that have helped us to grow our business through Local First. We really appreciate them because they do things that help us become better businesses. They do things that help communicate to the community about our presence, and we really just overall appreciate the relationship that we've been able to build. We've done things such as participated in Fork Fest. We've been able to promote our business through some of their social media channels. We've participated in their business development series. We've even gone to some of their book club sessions that they've had in the past. And we just really appreciate the relationship that we've been able to build with them. We even often get emails or text messages just to see how we're doing a post check, and that's what matters the most to us. So we really appreciate Local First and what they do for the community, what they've done for us as a business, and how they've actually also poured into us as individuals. Thank you, Local First.
Hi, my name is Kyle Zimdar. I am the president and owner of Frames Unlimited, and we have been proud Local First members for 10 plus years. We see lots of benefits to being members and being a part of the community. The first being that the team at Local First is incredible advocates for businesses and keeping that money local to the public and as well as other member businesses. Second, they create a wonderful learning opportunities, educational opportunities for businesses so that they can improve and work on the things that they want to work on to build their business. And lastly, they host amazing network events where you get to meet other like-minded business owners and share ideas and just kind of get to know the other people that are in the community. So those are the benefits we see, and we're proud to be members. Enjoy the meeting.
Hi, I'm Doris Drain of United Bank of Michigan, and I'm a Local First board member. And we at United Bank believe in Local First, and we have benefited from their efforts to educate our community about the importance of banking locally. And when you do, how more of that money stays in our community to make it a better place. Keep up the good work, Local First.
Thanks, Kathleen. Hey everyone, my name is Alice Jasper, and I'm the Good for Michigan Program Director. I've had the privilege of working with our incredible team to help build an economy that puts people first over the past 2.5 years. The Good for Michigan program believes that good business matters. We support companies who want to have positive and measurable impacts on their employees, their local communities, and the natural environment to help build an inclusive, resilient, and regenerative economy for the state of Michigan. Good for Michigan understands that sustainability means the intersection of people, planet, and profit, and understands that investing in people and planet is what leads to a resilient and inclusive economy. COVID presented so many challenges, and we're so grateful and so excited to the businesses that were able to really step up and support our communities in their time of need, to help prioritize the safety and well-being of their workforce, to help advance social and racial justice, and to help protect our planet's natural resources. So to those businesses, thank you so much for all that you do and all that you've done to help make surviving COVID a little bit easier. Last year, our partners over at B-Lab collaborated with the United Nations Global Compact to create the SDG Action Manager tool. The SDGs, also referred to as the Sustainable Development Goals, are global metrics and best practices of sustainability. We're able to bring these tools and these global best practices here home to Michigan and help create place-based strategies around them by utilizing the SDGs in our Good for Michigan campaign. Last year, we had 59 new Good for Michigan businesses join the campaign by taking and engaging with the SDG Action Manager tool. We had 4 new companies become B Corp certified, and we're now working with companies in 33 cities across the state of Michigan. Good for Michigan also serves as the state's B Local. A B Local is a place-based community of people or businesses who are working to use business as a force for good. B Locals exist around the US and Canada and work to create connections, increase positive impact of the B Corp community, and help to build awareness around the B economy. Our work with B Corp and B Locals around the country has allowed us to learn from and with some of the most innovative practices that are happening in sustainability and bring them here to our economy in Michigan. We're proud to say that through our B Local work, Michigan is now home to 24 B Corp certified companies. Good for Michigan is providing certification support for companies aspiring to become B Corp certified. We collaborate with a national community of businesses and community leaders to help bring these best practices here. And Good for Michigan received last year's 2020 Movement Building Award from B-Lab, which recognizes individuals and organizations who have made an extra special contribution to the growth of the B Corp community. So thank you so much to B-Lab for honoring and recognizing the work that we do. Thank you to all of our Good for Michigan businesses, whether you're just starting out in your sustainability journey or the B Corp certified companies in our state. Thank you for everything that you've done to help make Michigan better and to help build that inclusive economy that puts people first. Next up, I'm going to hand it over to Mika Staub, our amazing marketing director. But first, a brief testimonial from one of our Good for Michigan businesses based out of Detroit.
Hey, this is Ben Wicke with Walker Miller Energy Services. We first started working with Good for Michigan last year in 2020 when Walker Miller started their journey to become a certified B Corp. And Good for Michigan has been hugely helpful in helping us to navigate the sometimes complicated and intricate structure of the B Corp process, and we're very thankful for that.
Thank you, Alice. And thank you to everyone who has created space in their virtual meeting capacity to join us here this evening. My name is Mika Staub, and I'm the marketing director for the programs of A People First Economy. I've been on the team for about 5 years and was a volunteer even before that. I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish in 2020. A year ago, we were just entering this significant era and had no idea how much or for how long it would impact our lives. We learned very quickly how detrimental this was going to be for our brick and mortar businesses, and we saw them spring into action to shift their business models to accommodate what we would later deem the new normal. It was incredible to watch and incredibly difficult to keep up with. In an effort to share their updates with our wider audience, we immediately created our own crowdsourced list of open businesses, as well as how the community could support them. We also created a resource list for businesses that included links to funding opportunities and the corresponding webinars that would help businesses through the process. Eventually, this got turned into an app. We collaborated with a gentleman named James Eldersfeld, who reached out in early April with the idea. Using the information from the sheets, we set up the app to allow businesses and the public to update the information in real time. It was live by April 22. 147 businesses, 29 business resources, and 13 fundraisers were listed available to anyone at no additional cost to the business. Before COVID hit, the Local First program was just starting to recreate our new website. As many of you know, this site had been in the brainstorming stage for about a year prior, and certainly in our dreams for years prior to that. Based on the feedback that we received from the Local First membership and the West Michigan consumer, we created a new site with new and upgraded features. The image shop and I worked for 9 months, creating a platform that allowed members to log into their account, share their updates, create promotions, and, as a later addition, list things like curbside pickup, delivery, and online commerce options. The directory allows you to search by ownership demographic, neighborhood, and of course, business industry. If you are a Local First member business, I encourage you to update your listing with as much of this information as possible, because thousands of people are looking at it. We launched the site in September, and we have already seen a huge response. Working in tandem with ongoing promotions, as well as the Independence Week campaign and the holiday campaign, traffic to the directory has increased 66%, and that's, again, just since September. Our statewide Good for Michigan program has also had a year of expansion, as Alice mentioned earlier. Thanks to the support of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, we were able to reach even more businesses across the state. We currently have 158 businesses in 33 cities that are intentionally working towards a better business future. In May, we hosted the week-long virtual awards and were featured in MIBiz. We honored 8 businesses who were recognized for things like local sourcing, energy efficiency, internal budget transparency, and the treatment of their workforce. We took some time to call out our B Corps in Michigan that had won Best for the World. These awards are given out by B Lab, which Alice mentioned, and are the highest honors in sustainable business. While we were saddened not to hold the event at the listening room at Studio Park, hosting the event on social media meant that even more people could attend. Hosting the event on social media meant that we had an attendance of over 5,400 people. We are excited to plan for the 2021 Good for Michigan Awards. All the businesses in the program that have measured their impact in the last 2 years are eligible. Big ups to Alice and Emmanuel for digging through all that data. Make sure to keep your eyes open for the event. It'll take place in May. 2020 was a year of incredible loss and important learning. As we move into 2021, I'm hopeful that more businesses, whether they are Local First or Good for Michigan, will understand their role in creating a people-first economy. Thanks again for coming. I'm going to kick it back over to Hannah to close us out.
Thank you, Mika. And the evening wouldn't be complete without thanking our incredible board of directors, a full roster of which you can find on the Local First program webpage, www.localfirst.com. We thank you for your service as board members, for your help in building a new direction for our organization as we transferred leadership, And here's to many more successful years ahead. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We hope you learned a little bit more about how People First Economy is serving our communities across the state of Michigan. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever your social media preference is. Check out our websites for more information and ways to engage. Keep an eye on the credits for opportunities to email the questions to the team, and please stay in touch. We're going to close out by hearing from one of our stellar team members, Emmanuel Ibarra, interviewing Janae Brower, Rockstar CEO of Public Thread, as part of a new podcast series being developed. You can find those podcasts on goodfor.org. More information will also be in the credits about that. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks very much.
Do you have any tips, recommendations, or advice for a business leader out there who might be listening to this, who is just starting on their journey or with sustainability, or interested in like taking the business within or towards a sustainable direction? Do you have any tips or recommendations or advice for these people?
Well, I think the Good for Michigan assessment that you guys have is a really helpful tool to be able to get a baseline assessment, and probably to start to think about things like, who are your vendors? You know, like, are you supporting women and people of color owned businesses or not? You know, like, are these a value for you? And if it is, then you kind of got to follow it up with finding those vendors or suppliers. And if you can't find them, then how are you doing that in another way, right? So what is available, and how can you ensure that your business is following through on those values? So I think that's a really great place to start. And I mean, I learned a lot from taking it, even as like, I want to think I'm like all aware and know all this stuff, but like I took it, was like, oh, I had never thought about that part. Okay, cool. Like I gotta consider that. So I think it's doing some kind of that basic level assessment, but then I think you got to write down your values. You got to know what it is that you want to see happen through your business. Mm-hmm. And so if you're just about making money, well, I guess you got to be honest with yourself. So don't like say you're about sustainability just because you did a paper packaging, because that's not really, I mean, yeah, that's a step in the right direction for sure. But like, let's just be really honest with ourselves about what we're here for, right? And so I struggle all the time, like, oh, we have to make money, because my focus really is on how do we build amazing products and we create these really great sustainable living wage jobs for people, and that we give access to opportunity to grow and to learn additional skills and to start our own businesses that can be sustained within our community. So, I struggle with the profit piece of our 3 Ps. And so, it's been one of those things, like, how do I hold these in balance with each other and not be like, well, you got to have money to be able to pay people. So, you inherently have to build in some things of like, what are our strategies? But again, how do you stay consistent with your values? And so, it's not simple and easy. It's not a one and done, but, sorry, my thing
okay.
I just got a call. So it's not a one and done thing, but it is really about how you do that ongoing. And, I'm constantly trying to figure that out, because when you're a single proprietor or you're doing a lot of the management of your business, it's complicated. You have a lot of jobs and a lot of hats to wear. You're doing HR, you're doing financial management, you're doing PR, you're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're doing the back end management of your website, you're doing all the things, and it's a lot. And so sometimes you need, you kind of clutch moment, you're like, I just need something quick, and so it's a constant assessment, how do you support and follow through on what you say you want to do.
Love